Hey,
Everybody,
hey, folks.
hello. We are here again to bring brightness to your day.
Except for no brightness to these under eyes for those of you who are watching.
Yeah, and by brightness, I mean we're filming this at nighttime. So if you're watching on YouTube, you're gonna see some glare in the glasses,
Yeah.
and it's gonna be moody.
I took my glasses off, but I'm going to put them on for all of you just so you can see.
Yeah, just to keep it level.
This
Oh,
is what it
there
looks
you
like on
go.
mine. You can't see shit. So
Yeah,
I'm going to
yeah.
take them off again. And luckily
Nice.
for me, I am
I could
nearsighted.
probably get away with. No, I can't see the screen. Never
Oh,
mind.
whoopsies.
Oopsie daisy. But yeah, welcome to Mean Girls Interrupted, everybody.
It's a movie review and recap podcast. Listen, we
Yeah.
are not professionals in this. We
No, you
are
know what we are called? You know what we are considered in the podcast world? An indie podcast. We are
oh,
considered an indie podcast. Did you know that was a term? Because it's a term now.
I didn't. So,
Yeah, because
because we don't have funding, we are officially considered
and a
indie.
major studio isn't paying for our overhead.
Interesting.
Nor are we celebrities.
No, we are not even close to that.
But we're just like, so say for instance, okay, so what's like a big talk podcast with like stars hosting on a regular basis?
I'm
What
gonna
is
be
it?
I'm
It's
gonna be honest with you.
like I know like Sarah Silverman has one.
Right.
Um, Kiki Palmer has one that is like like a Wondery or Amazon Audible thing.
Anna Faris.
Anna Faris is all, yeah. So they would be considered, if you were to compare us to like supermarkets, they would be the Krogers, the Walmarts, the
Piggly Wigglies.
Yeah, the Piggly Wiggly agenda is like pretty nefarious. They are everywhere. I'm just kidding, but so like they and we would be considered the bodega.
Yeah, there's a million of them.
Yeah,
and nothing in those bodegas is the same.
right. But you go in there and you get
They're familiar, but they're
right.
not the same.
They can make a mean like breakfast sandwich whenever you're hungover. That's like your go-to and your bread and butter. Or you can just hop on over to the Anna Faris Walmart and the Kiki Palmer wall. But I can't
I feel
badmouth
like
or
they're
throw shade at
Target.
Kiki. Yeah, they're Target. Yeah,
They're Target. I can't throw shade at any of them. Listen, if we could, we would.
That's true.
We cannot. So we're not. I'm not shading anybody. Good for you. I'm so
me
glad
neither.
you're famous and rich and
yeah.
have fun times.
Yeah, glad you're ruining it for the rest of us.
Yeah, we still love you though.
Yeah, so we're considered an indie podcast. So please support by liking, commenting, subscribing, following the show on Apple Podcasts or wherever you get your podcasts. And make sure you leave a 5-star review and rate 5 stars and then leave a review. That's how that works.
Well, also leave a 5-star review because we don't want any reviews that are less than 5 stars.
I kind of want a 1. I do.
I mean,
I gotta say.
No, the only reason why is like when I say review, when you're typing your review, when I read it, I need to think, oh, this is 5 stars. You put some thought into it.
The review itself, the review of the review is 5 stars.
Yeah.
So what we need is we need some entertainment in the review. So
exactly.
Anything's welcome. But yeah, so this is our second installment of our October spooktacular or whatever you want to call it. It's our double feature. So today we're doing No One Will Save You from Hulu.
Yep, a Hulu original.
Yeah. I mean, No One Will Save You from Hulu, but the title of this movie is called No One Will Save You.
No One Will Save. I'm not going to lie. Hulu has some amazing anime. I am on there for the anime.
Yeah.
Pretty much that's it, actually.
Yeah, because I feel like with the Hulu of it all, like they're basically, it's just like the dumping zone. Like they just dump all of the 20th century studio stuff on there.
I see. And the thing is I just, I really don't go on there for much else.
No, because they kind of, since Disney owned it, started owning it, it kind of like became weird and not entertaining.
Is it weird that I didn't know that Disney started owning it?
No.
So Disney,
I think they want you to not know. So
nope, that's a lie. I am so sorry. Of course, Disney owns it. I have
because
a
of the
package.
bundle,
Yes, because of the bundle. I
the
guess.
Disney bundle and save.
Saving what exactly?
Not a great
Not
deal
money.
of money. No,
Not money.
No, definitely not, because money's coming out of the pockets even more now.
Yeah, because they just keep saying we're worth it.
So I feel like it's all going to come to a head whenever, like, it's going to come to a point where people start to pick and choose what they're subscribing to because the constant price increases. What are you going to let go of first in all of your media subscription streaming
Netflix
things? Netflix.
Easy. Netflix easily.
And so no more Great British Baking Show for you. No more Glow Up for you.
That's fine, because if there's only 2 shows that I want to watch on there, is it really worth paying $20?
No, because their originals are shit.
They're not great. They haven't been great. I'm sorry.
I mean, I liked Stranger Things in 2016, but I haven't been compelled to watch a Stranger Things in quite so many years.
Listen.
Yeah.
It's just
like, I don't even get what a Shadow and Bone is. What is that doing for me?
Absolutely nothing.
Also, what is that, like, pervy, voyeuristic serial killers? Yeah.
I mean, the 2 go hand in hand. Yeah. No,
I gotta say, I am aware of what shows come out of there, but I never watched them.
Yeah, that's the problem.
And I think the Hulu's the same thing for me.
Yeah, see, the thing is I don't go to Hulu for anything original. The only thing that I went to Hulu for that was original was like Difficult People, which is no longer, unfortunately.
Yeah, and that was like ages ago at this point.
And Difficult People was great. Oh,
right. Oh, Hulu had I was gonna say the Bridesmaid's Tale, but it's actually the Handmaid's Tale.
Yeah, and I was gonna say
would you watch the Bridesmaid's Tale?
I would.
Yeah. I feel like a really dark and dystopian bridesmaids story.
Yeah, about how, it just keeps getting worse for her as she tries so hard to fit into this group of bridesmaids.
All she's trying to do, and all she wants to do, is throw like the most spectacular, best, most meaningful bridesmaids extravaganza experience for her best friend who's getting married in the confines of an extremely austere and oppressive society designed to control women.
Yeah, Applebee's. That's when the wedding's happening. Applebee's.
It's just taking place at an Applebee's.
Yeah.
So oppressive, Applebee's. I don't know the last time you've been to an Applebee's, but last time I went, I felt like I needed to code switch from being gay.
I went to a Chili's with my redacted about. Honestly, they're the same. They are fraternal twins. They are fraternal twins. So we went to a Chili's, and I hadn't been to one in ages. I don't even know why we picked it. We were just like, do you want to see what it's all about? John, you want to know what it's all about?
What?
Bad lighting. Poor carpeting.
How old would you say that
overpriced food is? Oh, John, I couldn't even tell you.
I do not trust a restaurant that's carpeted.
It's really gross. It's actually really gross.
Because you know incidents happen where the waitress is like trying to deliver like a bunch of sodas and waters and drinks on one giant tray, and it topples over. And then
that was the day she quit. She quit that day. That's what happened. She quit right then. She said, "I'm so sorry."
She didn't even say sorry. She just looked at it, turned around, and walked out the door. Have you
her entire section was empty.
Have you ever seen that in your restauranting experience?
No,
like a major spillage happen?
You want to know what? No, I haven't, which is kind of crazy.
That's really amazing.
I think it's mostly in movies. I'm not going to lie.
I've witnessed it though.
You have?
So I'll take you back to the year 2004.
Oh, I love that year.
Yeah. I was working at Chevy's Fresh Mix.
Oh, Chevy's
Fresh Mix. Is it Mexican food?
Is it Chevy's?
It's neither a Chevy nor is it Mexican food.
The real question is it fresh?
It's called Chevy's Fresh Mix. Fresh. And I'm pretty sure it's not fresh at all.
Whoops.
Yeah.
Sorry, calling you out. Is it or isn't it?
Allegedly. I don't know. The only thing fresh about it are these hands.
Yeah.
But I witnessed it there. I was like the to-go order taker. So people like walk in and like order to-go order. And then I was just like sit there the whole day, like watching the waiters like run around and do their thing. And I watched a waitress like approach a table with like a tray full of drinks and it just like crashed and burned. And it was amazing.
I feel so bad for her.
I didn't get up. I did not approach. I wasn't like, hey, let me help you out. I was like, that's broken glass. And I didn't see a thing.
Guess whose problem it is? Not yours.
Not mine. I'm 18 years old still, and I don't care about anything.
I can't touch any of this.
Yeah, sorry.
I'm barely not a minor.
Yeah. No one will save you.
No one will save you from us continuing to banter.
Yeah, well, I haven't seen you in like a week and we didn't talk much, so I missed it.
We haven't had a chance. It's been very difficult for the both of us.
So busy.
It is very busy.
We're busy bitches.
Yeah, we are.
Busy
also, we queens. Are. Also, just so you all know, for those of you just joining us, just in case you didn't know, we are gay here.
We're gays.
We are gays. And
well, also, you have like a rainbow on your hat that says Plan Daddy.
If you guys didn't understand what this meant.
Oh, my gosh. Pearl. I forgot my pearl. I just realized.
Okay. It's totally okay.
Yeah, if you're watching on YouTube, we wear pearl enamel pins that Travis so kindly got for us to wear on this pod. And it's her iconic cry smile face. Because
that's who we are on the inside every day.
Crying and smiling. Smiling and crying.
Yeah. We are.
We're crying.
We are crying.
Yeah, it's all the time. That. That's what I'm gonna name my firstbome. Crying.
Oh, like Krylon, the makeup?
Krylon or Kryler.
Yeah.
Come on, Kryler.
I'm sure there's a Kryler out there.
Let's go to the Air one and then
do you want to know
this and then go to Sweet Greens thereafter.
Ew, dude, you just said every name of every grocery store that I can't imagine going in. Yeah. I know exactly which grocery stores you're talking about.
You know what, Kryler? No one will save you.
Yeah, no one will save you. The last thing I'm going to tell you right now is so today, me and Redacted were out to lunch with my brother and sister-in-law. And my sister-in-law was telling me the name of a person. And I don't know who this person is. And I don't care if you hear your name on here. Jorgen? Your parents didn't know if they liked the name Jordan or Morgan better.
And so now misspelled Jergen.
Maybe. But I'll tell you what.
Jorgen.
So there you are. If your name is Jorgen,
I just want to, it rolls off the tongue. That's for sure.
Whose tongue? The devil's?
Jorgen's.
Jorgen. It's the off-brand. It's the off-brand of Jergens. But what's good about it is the perk is it comes with its own tissues.
Yeah.
Jergens doesn't come with its own tissues. But the downside to the silver lining of the tissues added is it really burns. It burns.
This is the Jorgen way.
That's just Jorgens.
Jorgen sounds like not a name, but more, not even like a model of a car, but it's more like Jorgen. Jorgen would be, who is Jorgen?
Jorgen is, I'll tell you who Jorgen is. Jorgen is a furniture store that is filled with furniture that has been in semi accidents. Yeah. So you know how when a semi accident happens and it's filled with furniture, all the furniture that has somehow managed its way across 5 lanes.
You sell it at Jorgen's.
Jorgen's, the furniture place.
Jorgens, the semi-ruined, the semi-car crash furniture store.
Yeah, so there you are. That's Jorgens.
Oh, Jorgens. No one will save you, Jorgen.
No one will save you. The movie that we're going to review right now.
Yeah, so No One Will Save You is part of our horror extravaganza con double featureiness.
Also, it's rated PG-13, so take so as much horror as you can get from that. This is fine.
Yeah, so it is PG-13 with a runtime of a modest 93 minutes, which I was happy about.
John, I'm telling you. So John picked the movies this week, and every single one of these movies, every single one of these movies gets one extra point for me because of the runtime.
Runtimes made sense.
Runtimes are important.
Yeah, I can watch any movie in the entire world, good or bad, these days since we've watched so many movies.
Yeah.
And if it's a runtime of like an hour and a half and under, I find that movie so much more tolerable.
Oh, it's so much more enjoyable knowing that I don't have to sit any longer than I had to.
Yeah. What was Fast X 2 hours 18?
John, I think it was like 2 hours and 30 minutes because Terrifier 2 was 2 hours and 18. And I remember, why do we remember timestamps?
Because this is we invest a lot of our time in doing this podcast.
Well, some of these movies' lengths are aggressive.
Also,
they're criminal.
Yes. And it's also an indicator of like the audacity of the filmmaker. It's like, what do you think you're doing here?
John, it's because they're like, you know what? Not one part of this movie deserved to be cut. I'm so good at what I do that you have to see everything that went into this. It's like, I don't want the scraps.
It's like, look, we know what it's going to be taking up that runtime. It's going to be nothing good. It's going to be the most boring bits of it elongated.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So no, thank you. No, ma'am. But anyway,
so no one will save you.
Yeah. From us. No one will save you from a 2.5 hour runtime. But except for this movie, No One Will Save You. It is 93 minutes. It is considered a horror, sci-fi, a thriller, directed and written by Brian Duffield.
Okay.
And they have done a movie called Love and Monsters and another movie called Underwater.
Oh, wait, which one was Underwater?
Yeah, you know the one. The Case too.
He did Underwater?
You wouldn't really think so, but he did. Oh, sorry. Wrote Underwater.
Okay, I was like,
makes a lot.
I was like, I'm like, what?
So yeah, Underwater was directed by William Eubank.
I loved Underwater.
I liked it too.
Very underappreciated.
I mean, who doesn't love K-Stew in like a fashion buzz cut?
Also, full lesbian drag she was in, and she was serving. I loved it.
I love how she's like going full Leslie these days. Yeah,
me too.
She's so hot. It's crazy.
She is. She truly is.
So anyway, the synopsis of this is: an exiled, anxiety-ridden homebody must battle an alien who's found its way into her home. And that,
honestly, that just kind of sum it up. Like, that's a pretty good summary.
End of episode. No, so it stars Kaitlyn Dever, who I think has like a contract with Hulu at this point.
She was in Booksmart.
She was in Booksmart. She did a good job, but she was also in that Hulu series Dope Sick that everybody was freaking out about.
I don't even know what that is.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't watch it.
I'm sorry, I have no clue. I do like her. I actually do like her.
Yeah, she's good. I do like what she was laying. I was picking up what she was laying down.
I was walking over what she was laying down, but appreciating it.
But you could like look back at it and be like, you know what? I missed a pretty interesting time.
Yeah.
And so so No One Will Save You is very interesting, I would say.
That's very PG-13.
PG-13.
Pigeon 13.
And so No One Will Save You. If you were to sum it up, Travis, how would you sum up No One Will Save You in a very 1 to 2 sentences? and then we'll really dive into what it's about.
Okay. So just so you all know, we are going to spoil this movie for you if you haven't watched it. I'm going to give you my what did you just call it? What was the word you used?
I would say
my summary,
a synopsis, a log line, if you will, a few words to describe not only what goes down in a nutshell in this movie, but also your distinct point of view about the series of events that unfolds throughout the course of the story, which is the movie.
Yeah. Okay, I think I can work with that.
Okay.
All right. Sure. Okay. So my summary of No One Will Save You is this. Mute girl that hates people finds alien in home. Somehow there's a spider alien. Things happen. Happy ending.
Okay, you know what? I was seeing it. I was right there with you. I saw it bit by bit. I relived it
because I don't really know what else to say. Like,
that's
kind of it. What about you? I mean, I could only do it in those words because there's.
I guess
really all that happens.
It's an interesting challenge. It is an interesting challenge, especially for this movie called No One Will Save You. That came out on September 22nd of this year on Hulu.
It just released.
Yeah, it fully released.
They should have released this in December of last year.
Mm-hmm. Makes more sense.
Yeah.
So my little blurb for this to summarize it while offering my distinct point of view would be let's see, a pretty young face, looking too young to be drinking wine the way she does, has to survive a bunch of weird, angular, and varied aliens with an unclear purpose and task, only to become the considered the cool it girl of the alien population. So she's like the exception to the rule of being body snatched, and her body stays unsnatched.
I'm so glad you made reference to the body snatchers in this. We also could have referenced The Faculty, which was also a body snatcher.
Also a body snatcher. There was a few hardcore references to other science fiction alien movies in this one, because you get the War of the Worlds.
Oh yeah,
Steven Spielberg edition.
Yeah,
with the alien invasion. You get the signs. You get the Mel Gibson signs.
You do get the signs of it all.
With the tractor beam circles everywhere.
Sure, and you also get the water element that's used at one point.
Yes.
Except for it's not like to scare them. It's just for like, honestly, girl, she was smart. Weaponizing water when it is boiling is the best thing you can do.
Boiling.
You want to ruin someone's world? Boiled water.
Scalding hot water to the face.
Oh.
Never to be seen in public ever again because of the third-degree burns.
Yeah, girl. Sorry about it.
I mean, look what it did to Two-Face. Changed his whole life. Harvey Dent, half of his face snatched.
Gone. Just gone.
But that was not scalding hot water. That was acid.
Same thing at this point.
You know what? It might as well be.
Yeah.
Both uncomfortable when applied to the face.
Yeah, I wouldn't recommend.
Yeah,
definitely don't recommend.
It does have like but my logic in there. So she does at one point decide to take matters into her own hands to survive.
She does,
and those boiling pots of water would have been evaporated a long time ago.
Right, they were. But the thing is, it's like, you know how it goes in movie logic. It's like,
it's like convenience over reality.
Like, I know they're going to show up within the next 30 minutes.
Yeah, it's like, I'm going to get aliened before this evaporates. This boiling pot of water evaporates. So I'm good.
What's her name? Brynn?
Her name, it is Brynn.
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 Yeah. Sure.
Yeah. And anyway, so Brynn, is she? I don't think she's actually mute or deaf or anything. And they just
no, she's not. The reason why they did it is because for who knows.
And let's just talk about that right now, I guess. So this is a movie that has almost no dialogue, and by almost I mean
There are 3 words.
There are 3 words spoken at a very specific time towards the end.
Yeah.
And otherwise, there is no dialogue up in this.
Nope.
Which, you know what?
I'm
cool.
Fine.
A Quiet Place had a
Good.
full reason how to do it.
Yep. They did.
They could not unquiet their place.
But can I tell you this is while there is no speaking in this movie, basically, it kind of worked because the story still moved along without it.
You know, you're right. I can tell you that you're right. It did work. The pacing was great. It did not need the dialogue.
It didn't need any dialogue for.
However, for there not to be dialogue in the movie, there needs to be some kind of a logic to that, a need for that. And this was just like an artistic experimental choice because there are no deaf people in this movie.
Okay, but also I'm so glad you said that. I think it's an artistic choice. Here's what I think this movie was. I think this was a platform for this writer to also do the directing, to see how far he could go and then potentially get a bigger film later.
In the sequel, you mean?
There can't.
Oh, you mean like the next step in his career?
Yeah, the next step. Is when I was watching this is what I felt like this movie was.
This is a job interview.
It really did feel like a job interview because I was like, he's just trying to show exactly what he can do and what he's capable of. And this is what I thought of whenever she's in that red tractor beam on the ceiling.
Yeah.
This is when it hit me. And I was like, oh, so this is an experiment. This is somebody who's like, I have a budget from Hulu.
Yeah.
Let's make something and then see if I get a bigger job later.
Yeah. It's like, this isn't the end all be all passion project child of mine. Right. This is the step to the next level. Because what I can say, but what I can say is like the movie itself, and not to get into the review portion of this thing, but it's like I really respected the craftsmanship, the control over the environment, the use of cinematography to tell the story, and also just the overall direction of the piece was good and sound. Yes, I would.
You took the literal words out of my mouth because I was going to say,
took them.
Do not take this as me shitting on this movie in any way, shape or form. I just feel like this is what it was because, quite honestly, I was not bored watching this.
I wasn't bored watching it.
Do I feel like there could have been some things that were different? Sure, but I wasn't bored.
I would say up top with the beginning of everything, I was on board.
Fully invested.
I realized that there wasn't going to be any dialogue in this movie early on, but I was like, okay, cool. Let's see where this goes. And so Brynn is the outcast from this little community for one reason or another that we don't know yet. And she's just at home alone. And one night she hears a noise downstairs, and she discovers
Jared Leto,
a gray alien.
Yeah.
Milling about in her kitchen, and she gets terrified. And the aliens are not like a subversion of what we think of aliens. This is 1950s aliens with like the big eyes and the narrow face and the giant heads. And they're
called the Greys. They're called the Greys, essentially. So for those of you who know what a Gray is, for those of you who have been abducted by aliens, this movie will trigger you.
Yes, trigger warning for those former abductees. The abducted, there is a trauma warning, and just consider yourself warned right now.
This is not the movie for you.
Yeah.
Maybe it is.
If you're afraid of Mars attacks, this is not the movie for you, because this was kind of giving me comical Mars attacks aliens.
There was one moment in this movie that I honestly was like, oh, this is a comedy. And it's at the end, and we'll get there.
Cool. So she's, just to sum it up real quick for you guys. So Brynn, she is basically playing hide and go seek, cat and mouse with this invading alien species that is bound and determined to take over the human population via a tinier, weirder alien thing
It always
that
starts in small towns,
implants.
though.
Of course, why take over the big cities?
Do you want to know what that little thing reminds me of? John was just getting into it. They implant this little weird, like spindly. Do you remember
like a critter?
Do you remember in the Rosie O'Donnell show when she used to like slingshot those things into the audience?
Yeah, those little goopy kooshes.
Did it not remind you of a koosh?
She was obsessed with a koosh.
That is what those creatures were.
Yeah, they were koosh balls. Do you remember? Did you have a koosh ball?
No, I didn't have a koosh ball, but my sister loved Rosie O'Donnell. And I knew that deep down. I was like, girl.
Yeah.
Girl. Gay. It's okay.
Girl, it's okay to be gay. And it's okay
but she's
to
not.
love
It turns
koosh.
out she's actually not. She's just loved Rosie, which good for her.
But Rosie loves koosh.
Koosh.
So also shout out to Rosie. Good for you.
We love
you, girl. So Brynn is just she goes through a series of unfortunate events.
Truly.
Narrowly escaping capture by aliens.
She got hit in the face by a whole door. A whole door. A whole wooden door.
She got doored.
She certainly did.
And then, so she takes some pretty heavy hits. At one point, she gets not just tossed, but jettisoned through a wall.
She really, John, they just, the way homes were built, how did they last so long?
How did she not hit a support beam and go split in two?
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, were there weren't any, were no supports here?
No, just drywall.
Holding up
hollow drywall.
Holding up the entire roof.
Yeah, you know what? Shoddy construction really paid off in her favor, I would say.
Honestly? Yeah, it saved her life.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
So
if we're going to change the name of this from No One Will Save You to Drywall Will Save You.
Yes, Drywall will save you.
Yeah, because these alien beings are also telekinetic, the Greys. And they come in all shapes and sizes. Shapes and sizes.
I do like that. Body positivity matters.
It does. And also giant twigs matter. Like, what was that? So there was
there's a very spindly one.
Very spindly ones. And what I would say is, out of all the varieties, that one was like the least terrifying for me. And it was like, they were sort of like the, at the airplane, at the airport, the people who like want help those little wands and like direct the plane back into its little port. Yeah. They were giving that job.
I mean, I liked when they were doing yoga.
Yeah.
We'll get into that though. So basically this movie is like
I would venture on to say I wasn't scared.
No, there wasn't one moment in this movie that actually was suspenseful. It wasn't suspenseful. I'm sorry. It
does try to gaslight you into telling you that suspense is going down and being had,
but it's not. And I don't know if you were having any. For those of you out there who have watched this, if you were having any, I am so sorry that happened to you.
I would take a look inward for a little bit, like and wonder why you drank that juice.
Yeah, because I wouldn't have. But I guess long story short, because these episodes are going to be a little bit shorter, just FYI.
Yeah. And there's really the only way that you can really synopsize and abridge and recap this movie is to say that Brynn is a loner and she experiences we see an alien invasion survival methods through her eyes, her POV, while she reconciles some deep-seated guilt because she accidentally killed her friend many years earlier, which has resulted
purpose. That was on purpose.
Right, but it was in like a rage, but she didn't really mean to kill her.
No, I think it was premeditated. I think they just wanted us to.
She's just a murdering bitch. And that's Brynn for you in a nutshell. a murderous, lecherous little hussy.
And somehow she managed to survive all of this while everyone else around her succumbs to couches.
Yeah, the couches who snatch bodies up.
Yeah, and you guys can figure
bodies
out.
Bodies be snatched.
They are being snatched. Also, I mean, yeah, they're just snatched. That's it. The bodies
but it all culminates whenever she, at the end of the day, she gets tractor beamed up into a UFO, and all these aliens are looking over her as she's like frozen in place, and they just emit all of these. They have a whole full-on conversation that nobody can understand because it's an alien speak.
Oh, I knew exactly what they were saying.
Oh, subtitles.
No. I just understood it. I totally got it.
Right.
Yeah, it was in the mannerisms. It was in like the way they were expressing themselves. Basically, what they all were like, "Yo, this bitch is broken."
Yeah, she is traumatized to the core.
There's no way we can infect her. We can't help her.
Right. She is beyond help. She is beyond any sort of aid, and also she's quite unlikable.
Yeah, so they flushed her right out of that UFO and dropped her right near the ground. John, that is when I knew this movie was a comedy.
Whenever she smacked the ground.
Not only when she smacked the ground, but through all of this, the aliens are going through so much effort to infect people with these koosh balls. Yeah. And they see her murder her friend and are like, nah, we're good.
She's been voted off the island. But also she can just have her own body and live her own quote unquote her peaceful existence among the
carefree existence.
Among the other snatched bodies, and she just dances with them in a weird musical number.
John, she was at Pearl's farmhouse.
She was.
There were no gators in that water, which was missed opportunity. You could have tossed one of them aliens right in.
Yeah, I know, but she rejected the alien's first gift, which is the koosh ball. She does get infected by a koosh ball,
and she rips it out of her throat.
Yeah, but the koosh ball, in my understanding of this movie, whenever they snatch your body, your consciousness is placed in a part of your mind where you get to live peacefully,
euphoric,
with your loved ones that you have lost and have been mourning. You get to be with them forever and live in a state of bliss and happiness in your mind, while an alien is controlling your body and doing all kinds of things that you don't know about. And she rejected it.
She did.
So she could have been with her dead mother. But
John,
then
she killed so many of those aliens.
Which were people inside. If you really think about it.
Whoopsies.
Sorry. She's just going to be dancing fancy free all over those corpses.
Yeah.
So the world does become super invaded by aliens. And she's like, the only actual human that's not snatched.
Right. And everyone loves her.
Yeah. So that's how the movie ends.
Yeah. We didn't give you guys really any of the details. There were some cool moments in this movie. There were some things that I actually really appreciated.
I would say great showcase for a director who wants to move on to bigger and better things.
I think so too. I truly think so. This movie, it's not a terrible movie. It's really not. Is it something that I'm going to go back and watch? I don't think so, but
it's not terrible and it's not good either.
I wouldn't even go as far as to say it's not good. I think just because this really blurs the lines of is it it really does feel like you said an interview.
Yeah,
it's an interview with a director.
It's a showcase doing what he's got. Maybe our Brynn actress Kaitlyn Dever is just getting out of a contract.
Honestly, if this is a movie you're going to get out of a contract in, it's not a bad role to pick.
Safe choice.
True. She didn't have to learn a single line. Actually, that's not true.
To slay another day.
One single line she had to learn.
What was it? Mom, thank you. I love you, Mom. Something like that. It was something of that effect.
All I know is she was in her car too when the car couldn't turn on, and you guys can all know this is near the beginning of the movie. The car wouldn't turn over, and she was like, "No, no, no, no." So I think she spoke in total 10, 12 words in this entire movie.
Yeah. And then like, oh, right. And then like right before, and so she runs into an elderly couple and she looks really guilty and then she says, and then the lady spits a loogie in her face.
Yeah, oh, it is a thick one too. It's just sitting there.
And Kaitlyn Dever doesn't wipe it away and she just lets it linger there.
Yeah. And then the police behind the counter look at her like, get out of here.
Yeah. And so that didn't hold water for me either. I was like, okay, so this happened whenever she was a little. This happened whenever she was a little girl.
Yep. Petty.
And it was, in my opinion, yes, she had smacked her friend in the temple with a rock really hard, but not with the intention of killing her. You could call it an accident.
No, premeditated.
A premeditated accident.
Sitting on that one.
It was premeditated accident. And so they're not going to forgive this little girl, even as an adult.
The reason why it does hold water for me is because we both grew up in towns that would have done the same thing.
Yeah. But it seemed the way everybody was acting to her, it seemed like it happened last week.
Yeah, that was a little weird. But honestly, anyone in a town like that
would like maybe the parents of the child who died. Yes, cool. Bringing the same intensity and hatred like 10 years later. Awesome. Great. Love that for you. But also not the mailman.
No.
Not the fellow police officers.
Was the mailman, did the mailman really care though?
The mailman didn't even wave at her at the very beginning. She like waved at the mailman and he was like,
no, he wasn't the mailman. That was a different person. That was a neighbor.
But unrelated to the dead person, maybe.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But still, she is a pariah and this town is very dramatic. Everyone in this town is so dramatic. Drama.
Very dramatic. Yeah, that didn't really hold up for me.
No, because that person could have just moved to the town and been like, ugh. Well, I mean, if it were me also and somebody weird waved at me, and here's why I say this. Oh my gosh, some dude was so crazy the other day. This is my personality. Here's a little context for what. I was walking into a local store where I like to pick up my spirits.
Yes.
And a Tesla was backing out of a parking spot. And while I was walking in, another person was walking in. And this dude looked very towny, very backwoods.
Yeah.
Very, as you would think, to me, as if I'm somebody who is going to join in. He goes, I hope that fucker burns to the ground. John, can I tell you, when I did this escaped my lips to his face. What? And that was our total exchange, because there are people out here who are like that. That's the point I'm trying to make. But also, I totally get what you're saying, because this is a little bit too. It's too
like, I hate you and I don't even know you, or this other girl that died 10 years ago.
Right. It's like we're not even in the same age group.
Yeah. It's just, it didn't hold up. Like, they should have given her a stronger reason to be hated, like an actual reason to be hated.
But I can tell you something, John. If this was a southern town, they wouldn't let this go. Even though their whole ideals are forgiven. They'll hold it. They're going to send you to the hell that you haven't made it to yet.
Yeah. Like, no, we're going to bless your heart and then we're going to burn you at the stake.
You're going to get the silent treatment for the rest of your life. But I totally get what you mean.
You know what? To each his own, but also you're going to go to hell.
Yeah. Yes, you are.
So that's the movie. No One Will Save You. And do you want to hop on over to Rotten Tomatoes and see what they did after we give our reviews?
Yeah, for sure I do.
Okay. Travis.
So
out of 10. You go.
So for mine, out of 10 couches placed in the front door that hit you in the face as a blockade.
Also, why are we putting a couch that she can move by herself in front of a doorway that it doesn't, and you're not even stacking anything else on top of it? You're just putting a blanket.
She put a blanket. So,
and you're expecting aliens not to come through that? You're insane.
Yeah.
How did she survive?
John, I don't know. So out of 10 couches placed, I don't know, just right in front of an empty door frame, I will give this movie. Oh no, I don't know what to give this movie. Oh,
it's a movie. It's a movie that makes you feel literally nothing.
4. I'm going to give this movie a 4.
Yeah, that's what I like to hear.
I'm going to give this movie a 4. Not because of acting, not because of directing, just because like there's no substance.
There was very thin, very no lacking in substance. Even though try as they might, Kaitlyn Dever has got something.
She did really well. The acting's great. Stephen King loved this movie. He actually lauded this movie, and I was like, "Why?" And
how much are they paying Stephen King to do that these days?
Well, he said something about what is it? The Twilight Zone, and going back, and I'm like, no, like this. I don't think so.
I need to feel the suspense.
I don't think this movie's bad. It's not for me. I really do think there's some people out there who will get some serious enjoyment, but this is a 4 for me. And that's it. I really will not come back to this.
No,
that's
never.
That's my review.
Never. Yeah, even I love it.
Even if something pops up,
I love it.
I'm not coming back. 4.
Yeah. 1 out of 10 for me. Okay, so 1 out of 10 koosh balls into the throat. Deep throating koosh.
Yeah, so out of 10 kooshes deep throated, you're giving this.
I would also probably give this. Okay. I'm gonna go with a 5 because 5 is very lackluster.
Yeah,
it's very medium. I'm not feeling one way or the other about it. I didn't hate it, and I also didn't feel anything about it. Even though they're trying to like really play up that whole drama with like what she did to be hated, I didn't feel anything. I could see that Kaitlyn Dever can actually cry on cue and deliver real and turn on waterworks. That's for sure.
Yeah.
I liked the technical elements of this. I thought it was very good. However, it's missing that magic pull and drama for me.
The only pull in this movie was that tractor beam bitch. Like, I'm sorry.
Yeah, tractor beam fucking chewed up the scenery. 8.
Girl, she served.
She served paralysis.
She did.
She served broken backs in some instances.
She certainly did.
Also, nuance and different colors for different things.
I was so
color coordinated.
For the different color. Yes, she was.
She's a color coded hunty. So that's the movie.
Rotten Tomatoes. What did we get?
Oh, Rotten Tomatoes. So our good friends over at rottentomatoes.com.co.uk. You guess what the critics gave it in the tomatometer? You just guess. You just guess right now.
I have to guess what the critics gave it?
Yeah.
Oh.
What do you think? What do you think it's going to be?
Do I feel like the critics love this? I can't tell anymore because I'm not like an actual. Okay. Me long-winded.
Do it.
Off the top of my head, I think the critics gave this movie a 7.5.
81%.
Really?
A B minus, as you would say, an 8.
I kind of expected that.
An 8. Audiences, however, crapped all over it. 57%. Rotten.
John, you were good. You got 50. I said 4. You got it right on the money.
I don't know. So the critics' consensus is a home invasion thriller with an extraterrestrial twist. No One Will Save You serves up more genre fun from writer-director Brian Duffield and proves Kaitlyn Dever doesn't need much dialogue to command the screen.
That's the only thing I agree with.
Yeah, but they're not. They're blatantly ignoring the fact that this doesn't have suspense and moving emotional connection.
No. But also, so do we have like an audience review?
Yes, we do.
Because I want to hear what they have to say.
Audience says, No One Will Save You makes some interesting and original choices, and Kaitlyn Dever is great. On the other hand, it's rarely scary, and the ending might be a letdown.
Yeah,
I feel like for once I agree with the audience. I'm usually like the critics' consensus. Yeah, sure. But in the audience, I'm like, what are you talking about?
I don't like, no, but I think we've said this before too. It's like,
yeah.
Yes, a lot of the times the audience, I'm like, girl, I don't trust you. But bitch, this one was like,
spot
for
on.
real, this is it.
Yeah. So anyways, you guys, that be the show.
That's the episode. We're doing it we're going to make it very quick for you guys. We want you to have like a little pocket-sized episode.
Pocket-sized episode, fun-sized episodes.
Yeah, a fun-sized episode. And I think the next one's probably going to be fun-sized as well.
Yeah, and our next one, this is our double feature throughout the month of October. So if you haven't listened to it already, hop on over to the one that just released at the same time as this one. And that one's going to be Talk to Me.
An Australian film.
An Australian horror picture.
Yeah.
And that got a lot of
praise, I'm sure.
Eyeballs and praise. And a release from A24. A24 fully released it.
Yes, they did.
They got a full release from A24.
And they're lucky they did.
Yeah, good for them. A happy ending.
So, for all of you out there,
yeah,
as John said in the beginning, like, comment, subscribe, rate, review, all of those things.
Follow the show on Apple Podcasts.
Yep. Go into the description box below. You can find everything you need. You can find
we did it for you. It's the super easiest thing.
We've done all the work.
Yeah. And so we would also just love to hear from you over on Instagram at Mean Girls Interrupted. Send us a message. Send us a comment. Pick a fight with us. We don't care.
Yeah.
Do whatever you want to do. But mostly what we want you to do is to be happy at the end of the day. And if you're not happy with the way we did this podcast, then you can eat dicks.
Care.
But anyway, Travis, do you want to go to our next episode and see you at the movies?
Yeah. Roll the credits. I've been trying really hard to think of who's going to roll the credits this time, but I guess it's just going to have to be her dead best friend's headstone. So roll the credits, headstone.
Work.
Bye.
Bye.